Hi, I'm Dave Hamilton, Director of the Advanced Energy Center. On our show today, we'll be exploring energy, both the energy that we require to stay alive and the energy it takes to become stars in our fields of work. So let's get right to it. My guest today is Paul Schwartz. Paul's the CEO of Thermolift, a startup company in our incubator system. Paul, good to see you.
Good to see you, David.
So I've known you and had the honor of working with you since 2012. But for our viewers, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, what you were passionate about, and what brought you to where you are today?
David, I'm the CEO of Thermolift. We're developing a natural gas air conditioner and heat pump technology. We came out to the university in 2012 to validate the technology through the engineering school. My passion is in energy. It has been since chemistry class in 10th grade when we separated water into oxygen and hydrogen, burned it, showed that water can become a fuel. So I'm very excited about working at the Energy Center and the opportunities that it brings Thermolift.
Great. And so your history, you have manufacturing experience in your family, I think. What drove you to decide, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna do a startup company and take this technology and figure out how to bring it to the masses?
You really have to have a vision of success, and you have to keep that vision in front of you as you develop a company through successes and failures. So we started our company, again, using resources out at the university. Today we've raised a little bit over $20 million, grants from the Department of Energy, New York State, and are at the threshold of commercialization.
Great. So Thermolift, that's what you're doing right now. Tell us what Thermolift is, what its technology is, how it was created. Its co-founder, Dr. Hoffbauer, is an incredibly impressive man. So why don't you give us just a little bit of background about Thermolift and what it's all about?
Sure. So the co-founder of Thermolift is Dr. Professor Peter Hoffbauer, is formerly the head of engine and powertrain development at Volkswagen. After Volkswagen, he was the head of research and development at a major heating system company in Europe called Viessmann. He worked on a project of a mechanically driven heat pump technology using thermal energy. And then we've converted that mechanical system into an electromagnetic system with his engineering guidance. Built prototypes, are entering into testing, and we're, again, looking towards commercialization in early 2020.
Great. Heat pumps. What is a heat pump? Why do people care about heat pumps? Old style heat pumps, your version of a heat pump, what is that about?
That's a really good question, because people don't understand that you can move heat just the same way you can move water with a pump. So when it's cold outside, there's energy in the atmosphere. If you can capture that energy and bring it inside of a building, you can multiply the energy you're using as the power source. So you can get more into a building than you started with in fuel, not by breaking the laws of thermodynamics, but by utilizing them, by moving heat, by pumping heat. So a heat pump can allow you to heat a building, and it allows you to cool a building. Most heat pumps today use refrigerants and use electricity. Our heat pump uses natural gas as its fuel and the atmosphere to have a highly efficient heating and cooling technology.
So why does that make it special? Why does using natural gas or some other type of fuel make it different, better than an electric heat pump that's been existing for decades?
Sure. So a big key, number one, is refrigerants. Refrigerants are bad greenhouse gases, and they have certain limitations within their operating ranges. There's a whole world of investigatory work that's being done on refrigerants, but Thermolift has eliminated refrigerants in our system. That's number one. Second is the energy used to power our device is natural gas at the source instead of natural gas at a power plant. Power plant producing electricity is very efficient, but still most of the energy used at a power plant becomes waste heat energy. As much as 65% of the energy at a power plant goes off in waste heat that is never captured and utilized. We use that power at the source, and therefore we're highly efficient. We don't have that waste heat energy, so our net efficiency is much greater than the power plant to a heat pump to produce heating and cooling.
Right. And the Department of Energy finds this attractive? Is this a solution that they're looking at, a technology that they think has value moving forward?
Not only the Department of Energy, but around the globe, utility companies around the planet who are looking to load balance, to reduce peak demand for electricity in summertime during cooling operations, and are also looking to use less energy in the wintertime. So as a heating system, we will reduce energy by as much as 50% against the installed base of alternative technologies, and by over 30% versus state-of-the-art heating and cooling technologies.
It's impressive. So you just got to get there, right? When you joined the Clean Energy Business Incubator Program, which is when I met you, you were working from your basement. You've come a long way since then. Why don't you talk maybe a little bit about how our program at Stony Brook has helped out other resources at Stony Brook University that you may have used to get you to where you are today?
So it's really been invaluable, the assistance that the Clean Energy Business Incubator and the Advanced Energy Research and Technology Center have provided to Thermolift. We've hired probably 10 plus full-time employees between the engineering and business school that are working inside the company today. It was through the Clean Energy Business Incubator that we were introduced to the Long Island Angels, and it was through the Long Island Angels that we were introduced to our lead investor, Topspin Partners, and Euclidean Capital, who've been supporting the company. These are very savvy and intelligent investors who've seen the vision of Thermolift into commercial production. So it's through that whole system that the company has raised just a little over $20 million.
Outstanding. So you are now, your East Coast headquarters is here at Stony Brook at the Energy Center. What made you choose the Energy Center as the place that you wanted to set up shop?
Well, I'm born and raised on Long Island in Huntington, and I've always been excited about the opportunity of bringing energy technology to fruition. So through the Energy Center was a great opportunity to take advantage of the engineering school at Stony Brook University, the community of Long Island who's looking to grow energy as technologies, and the whole infrastructure that surrounds Stony Brook University.
Great. In my opinion, one of the most critical aspects of being an entrepreneur and taking a look at business strategies is the concept of customer discovery. It's a term used now through the Lean Launchpad program, and it's kind of a buzzword. And it's basically understanding the wants and needs of your potential customers. Has customer discovery been something that you personally have done as you were creating Thermolift, or your team is looking at? Do you use that concept, and if so, how?
Sure, there's no doubt customer discovery is very important. You don't want to develop a product that nobody wants to buy when you're finished with its development. So customer discovery for us has mainly been within the utility space to identify the wants and needs the utility companies have and find problems that the utility companies have. The utility companies will then help us bring our product to market through their customer base, but solving their energy reduction requirements, solving their load balancing issues, and utilizing that information as we design our product going forward has been a very valuable part of Thermolift's development.
So there's lots of engineers, hopefully, watching this and learning from you and your words of wisdom. So the customer discovery process, you've explained how you've used it. How do you think entrepreneurs in general, regardless of the technology, when should they use it? Is it something in the very beginning? Is it something that they wait till their product is done? When should customer discovery be utilized, in your opinion, in general?
I think it should consistently be utilized within the development of a product launch, customer feedback to success or failure. So customer discovery is an ongoing process that should be integrated as early in the company's birth as it possibly can.
And you did that for Thermolift, obviously.
Sure, absolutely.
Great. You have a very complicated piece of technology. I've watched it grow. I've watched you try to explain it to folks. It's complicated. And you have moved really far down the engineering path. How do you strike that balance of having your engineers constantly working on it, trying to perfect it, trying to make it the perfect box with the business strategies and having to get something to market and get something that you can show, that minimum viable product that Steve Blanks talks about? How do you balance that, and what challenges, or maybe none, have you had in dealing with that whole situation?
Well, you hit it on the head. It's minimum viable product. Is when can you get something reliable to a consumer that's superior to what's available today? You have to have a vision towards the perfect product, but a perfect product is going to evolve over time. So the market's going to tell you what a minimum viable product is. The market's going to tell you what kind of payback they might be seeking as a highly motivating factor for the purchase of that new technology. And you have to weigh the two differences of engineering development versus minimum viable product to economic benefit. And when you receive that economic benefit to the customer, you're ready to launch.
And who makes that decision?
That's made by a whole host of people. It's made by your board of directors. It's made by the customer discovery process. It's made by the entities that are going to help you launch that product to market. There's the confidence level that comes about, investor confidence to be able to fund that launch, because there's more money required when you get into the commercialization side.
All right. So, tell us where you are now from your generation, the various generation units that you've created. Any key milestones you hit? Any success stories that you'd like to talk about in this whole process to develop your MVP?
So, key for us was last summer with testing at Oak Ridge National Laboratories. as part of our Department of Energy grant. We took our product down to Oak Ridge. We tested it in their test cell. The results were identical to what we were seeing in our test environment, and that really validated the future of this technology. At the same time, our investors brought in a very key individual, Dr. David Parks, who was formerly the president of a company called Goodman, which is a $3 billion HVAC company. He'd been there since the time the company was $30 million and grew it into a $3 billion company over his 20-year career. He called us a revolutionary technology, and now he's the chairman of the board of directors. So it's a team, right? It's a team approach to an entire company formation, from engineering, from business, from academia, right, and from prior experience in running large corporations that put together a successful, hopefully, thermolift as we, again, go towards commercialization, demonstration in the field in 2020, so that we can reduce energy consumption by as much as 50%, eliminate refrigerants, and help the blend of energy mix in the United States and around the globe.
Nice. All right, so to wrap it up, in my opinion, you guys are on the cusp of achieving something very successful, very exciting, your technology and the market that you want to put it into. Where do you think you stand in the commercialization process in that path? And what do you see as critical next steps for you guys to really achieve what you want to achieve?
Well, when we first came out to the Energy Center, one of the first people we met here was Bob Kitzel, former chairman of National Grid, who said to me that he's been looking for a gas heat pump for 40 years. Over the next 5 to 6 months, he helped vet the technology through the university, helped bring us, he was our first investor, wrote the first check, and has helped bring us out to the marketplace. So we have to be very careful about what we do in our next 6 to 12 months in getting our product into the field, demonstrating it to the field successfully, reliable, with high level of durability, and then we'll launch into commercial production using our partner Linamar, a global manufacturing company, so that we'll have strategic relationships with OEMs, bringing a product so that you get it to your doorstep in a nice little package that says thermolift inside, and we can heat and cool your home.
Great. Time frame. When do you expect?
Well, we're going to be in the field in first quarter of 2020. And from there, it's going to be as quickly as we can accelerate the process, but we have to be careful to perform superbly, perfectly, and flawlessly to the customer. Last thing you want is on Saturday night your air conditioning or system to break when it's hot outside, or in the middle of the winter time. You don't want to be bundling up under 7 layers of blankets while the heat's not working. So we have to be a very reliable system, and that reliability, we hit that, and then we'll go to market.
Great. Well, hopefully we can help you with that at the Energy Center and the Clean Energy Business Incubator Program. And with that, Paul, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And I'm Dave Hamilton, and this is Energy.